Okay, welcome back students. In your last class we had discussed about adjectives and we had discussed about the several degrees, the 3 degrees of adjectives, that is your positive, comparative and superlative. We read about the rules, the various rules. So now we will be going through the formation of comparative and superlative adjectives. Now see, all kinds of adjectives do not have 3 different forms. This different form in fact indicate different degrees of quality and quantity, and therefore only adjectives of quality quantity can have 3 different forms. So not all of them has 3 different form. Like you cannot say 5 pencil, you cannot make 5 these that into your, you cannot convert them into your comparative or superlative. Only your quality and quantity in sense much more, these kind of things can be can be converted into your comparative and superlative. Okay, so now see, let's start. Now see, most adjectives of one syllable or some of them are more than one form the comparative by adding er, and superlative by adding est. Means one syllable or more than one syllable. Syllable means where you are giving 2 sounds. Syllable means 2 sounds. For example, tall, you are getting only 1 sound, tall. Clever, 2 sounds, clever. High, 1. Bold, 1. So this kind of syllables, adjectives with 1 syllable or more than 1 syllable can be formed into comparative and superlative by adding er and est respectively. Like clever becomes cleverer, cleverest. Strong, stronger, strongest. High, higher, highest. Tall, taller, tallest. Okay, so on and so forth. Next, when positive degree ends with e, and second rule is when the positive ends with e. For example, fine. Okay, this is your positive degree. You have to add only r or st to the comparatives and superlatives. Okay, for example, fine becomes finer, finest. Earlier you were adding er, est, but if your adjective ends with e, you will be adding only r and st. Next, when the positive is a word of, rule number 3, when the positive is a word of 1 syllable and ends in single consonant preceded by a short vowel, this consonant is doubled before adding er or est to form comparatives and superlatives. Means when the positive is a word of 1 syllable, 1 sound, and ends with single consonant, 1 sound, hot, 1 single syllable, 1 single vowel, see. Okay, and ends with single consonant, T is your single consonant, preceded by a short vowel, this consonant is doubled by adding er and est. So then the consonant will be doubled and er, est will be added. Okay, for example, hot becomes, this is your hot, 1 syllable, 1 consonant, T is doubled, er is added, T is doubled, est added. Wet, wetter, wettest. Fat, fatter, fattest. Thin, thinner, thinnest. Okay. Now see, rule number 4. If the positive ends in y, then y is preceded by a consonant. Y is changed into I, er, est are added into your comparatives and superlatives. For example, happy. Okay, for example, happy. Ending with y also is having a consonant before it is p. So y will be removed, it will be transformed into I, er will be added. So with happiest, H-A-P-P-I-E-S-T. What are the example? Easy, E-A-S-Y, easy. Ending with y, before y we have a consonant s. So y will be striked off, I will be added along with er. Again I will be added along with est. Lovely, same, pretty, merry, wealthy. Lovely becomes lovelier, loveliest. Pretty becomes prettier, prettiest. Merry becomes merrier, merriest. Wealthy becomes wealthier, wealthiest. Okay. So now next see. Next rule. But if y is preceded by a vowel, the y is not changed into I before er or est. Now see, gay, G-A-Y. Earlier what we had, that if y is preceded by, means if y has a consonant before it, then y will be removed, I-E-R will be added. But if there is no consonant but a vowel, then y will remain, only er will be added. See, gay, gayer, gayest, grey, grayer, greyest. Okay. Next see, adjectives of two or more syllables, sometimes two syllable, more than two syllables, sometimes two syllable, form the comparatives by using the adverb more with positives and the superlatives by using most. Means if adjectives, earlier we read that if adjectives have one or more syllable, then er, est are added. Now if your adjectives are comprised of more than two or more syllable, then you will be adding more and most for comparative and superlative respectively. For example, intelligent. So how many syllable are we have? Intelligent, 4 syllable. So more intelligent, most intelligent. Beautiful, beautiful, 3 syllables. More beautiful, most beautiful. So this kind of surprised, 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 3 syllables. So more surprised, most surprised. Okay. So these are the certain rules, and last rule is irregular comparison, irregular adjectives. So some adjectives are compared irregularly, means earlier we were adding er, est or rst or ierst. Okay. But there are certain adjectives which change completely. For example, bad becomes worse, worst. Far becomes further, furthest. Far distance becomes farther, farthest. For example, Ram lives far. Ram lives far. And if I change into it comparative, Mohan lives farther than Ram. Means while in distance. I am talking in distance. Good becomes better, best, for, former, foremost or first. Late becomes latter, latest. Okay. So these are the words that you have to remember. Now let's come to your interchange of degrees of comparison. Okay. See, it is possible to change the degrees of comparison of adjectives. We had learned about the degrees of comparison, positive, so comparative and superlative. Now we will be discussing about interchanging them. Interchanging the degrees of comparison. We have got through this portion in your live classes, but for your help, I'm making this video once more so that you can go through these videos once more, and if you have any doubt regarding this portion while I was teaching, you can get it cleared through this video. Okay. So see, let's read first. It is possible to change the degrees of comparison of adjectives, that is from positive to comparative. Means supposedly you have a positive sentence, you can change it into comparative and superlative, or vice versa. Vice versa in the sense, you have been given a sentence in superlative, you have to change it into comparative or positive. For example, if I say iron is the most useful metal, iron is most useful metal, you can change it into comparative as no other metal, you can change it into comparative as iron is more useful than any other metal, or into positive that no other metal is as useful as iron. Your main motive while changing the comparative, superlative or positive degree should be to keep the adjective in their form. Means for positive you will be using only useful, for comparative you will be using more useful, and superlative you will be using most useful. So you have to make your sentences like that. For example, you are given iron is the most useful metal of all metals. Now you are changing into your comparative. Iron is more useful than any other metal. Then you are changing into positive degree. No other metal is as useful as. See, this is the formation. For example, I can say iron is a useful metal. Iron is a useful metal. I can say. Okay. But if I am using no other, I can change it into comparative. For example, if I say diamond is an expensive crystal. Okay, diamond is an expensive crystal. See, expensive, this is my adjective. This has been written in positive degree. I can write it in another way, in same positive degree as no other crystal is as expensive as diamond. See, in this sentence, my adjective expensive remains in positive form. So this is a positive sentence. And now if I change this particular sentence into comparative, what will I say? Diamond is more expensive than any other crystal. See, just I changed. More expensive means diamond is a crystal which is lot more expensive than any other crystal found. Okay, so this is the way that you have to interchange the degrees of comparison, and that has been written in all this. I would ask you to read this example and understand properly. Okay, now we have certain uses of adjectives, that is the words superior, inferior, senior. See, this R, ending with R. Junior, prior, anterior, posterior, all these are your comparatives. This cannot be changed into superlatives. Okay, but they are followed by to instead of than. So in comparative degree we were using conjunction than, but in your use of adjectives we will be using to, not than. I cannot say that he is senior than me. I will be saying he is senior to me. I will be saying he is senior to me. If I say he is senior than me, it is wrong. I will be saying he is senior to me. Okay. Now see, last part, let's do it. Next is your double comparatives and double superlatives. In a sentence, we can use one superlative or one comparative. We cannot use two superlative, two comparative. If I say I cannot say he is more, what should I say? He is more clever than me. I cannot say he is more clever than me. If I say it is wrong. Because, more cleverer than me. I cannot say he is more cleverer than me. Because cleverer itself, this cleverer itself is a comparative. It is itself a comparative. Okay, comparative degree of adjective. I cannot use more. I cannot use more because more is another degree. I cannot use more with cleverer. I can say more beautiful, but I cannot say more cleverer. It will be wrong. See, if I am saying he is more taller, then it is wrong. He is taller than his brother. She is the most kindest. No, kindest itself is a superlative. I cannot use most kindest. Okay. Again, see, number 3, remember that if an adjective follows phrase one of, it should be superlative degree. Again, one of. While explaining superlative, I had said that superlative means one among all. One among all. So when I am saying one among all, that means it is superlative. One of, one among means superlative. Next, when two things are unequal, comparative should be used. Okay, means when I am comparing between two things, it will be comparative, not superlative. When two things of the same kind or quality are compared, we should use as, positive as, or no comparative degree then. This is the rule. If I am saying two things that are of same quality, means for example, Meena and Reena both are intelligent. Okay. If I have to write this in positive degree, what will I write? Meena is as intelligent as Reena. Means both are equal. Both are equal. Okay, this is the way to write. Now see, number 6. When one thing is compared with other of the same kind, take care to use any other after an adjective in a positive or comparative degree. Any other. Okay, you will be remembering to use any other. Any other. When one thing is compared with every other of the same kind means you are, for example, if I am talking about iron, iron is the most useful metal. Iron is the most useful metal. So if I am changing this into comparative or positive, that means I will be comparing iron with all other metals. So in that case, I will be writing that no metal is sorry, not this. I will be writing iron is more useful than any other metal. Than any other metal. Iron is also a metal. I am talking about any other metal. Means I will be comparing, I will be using this any other to compare between two similar things. Okay. Now see, number 7. When one thing is compared with all other things of same class, the superlative is used. This plan is best of all. Again, when I am talking about one among all, superlative degree. Simple thing, one among all. Okay, so last, see what we have. We all know that while we use superlative degree, we use article the. But where in certain cases we won't be using the. Where we won't be using the, we won't be using the when superlative degree is used as a positive adjective. See, my is an adjective, best is also an adjective. So if you are using my possessive adjective, we won't be using the. Again, his is a positive adjective. Wherever you have a positive adjective before a superlative adjective, you won't be using article the. Again, second is when the superlative degree is used with a noun for the sake of address. Means superlative degree is used as a noun to address somebody, to address certain thing. In that case, you won't be using the. For example, the kindest soul. By kindest soul, we refer to God. By dearest son, means we are addressing somebody. We are addressing to a person or an object or something. In that case, we won't be using article the. Okay. So this is what your all adjective is. We have completed in this portion. Sorry, this video has become a bit lengthy than the rest. It's okay. I had explained you all this. It won't be much tiring for you to go through this video. I would ask you to go through this and clear all your doubts. Okay. And your next class, I will be starting your next chapter, that is your adverbs. So till then, bye, take care.